What's up, John Delony?
What's up, man? How we doing?
I'm very good. I'm excited for this conversation.
Excellent.
Been
Found out we're
waiting for
neighbors,
it.
man.
Yeah, we're close.
We're city neighbors, not neighbors, but that's awesome.
It's great. I'm just excited to talk a little bit about relationships today. So I'm just going to dive straight in with a question that I have.
Let's do it.
Do you think today's approach to dating and marriage is making commitment harder than it used to be?
Yeah, it's madness. Yeah,
Feels like that.
it's madness, man. I mean, we're for all of human history, there was like 3 eligible people in your little tribe,
Yeah.
and the dads traded goats or whatever, and now there's a billion swipe opportunities.
Yeah.
And like just a cursory Google or chat of like choice psychology says like our brains aren't wired for a billion mate opportunities,
Mhm.
right? And then I'm sure you've listened to the guys and read this stuff on how caustic the dating apps are, right? They don't work, and
Really?
yeah, they're flawed fundamentally in how they operate, and so, yeah, it's chaos. It's a mess. It's
How
a
did
mess.
how are they flawed, or what have you seen with that?
You get this, like there's everything from smells to nervous system comfort to that is designed to be some sort of oppositional. The old opposites attract has some neuroscience to it, like that we're gonna create this thing and make a new thing, so the species survives, for crying out loud. And these algorithms say, "What do you like?" And you basically, Arthur Brooks says it best, you basically start dating a version of yourself, which means the first 3 to 5 dates are awesome because you like hanging out with you. You like the music, you make out the same, like you like all the same stuff, and then it doesn't work, right? And then you find yourself quitting or breaking up or on an endless swipe cycle or a settling, right? Like this is just going to be the way this is. Now, it's not for everybody. I got friends, family who have found, have great marriages through apps, but like fundamentally, they're not designed for how we're designed.
Do you think it's because you just have that in the back of your head, like, well, there's a lot of other people. If anything difficult happens, I got a lot of other options over there. Like, is that why the commitment's different? The commitment level is different?
Yeah, there's just an endless supply of options. I think that's a thing, but I think going back to this idea of the meta of relationships now is you can't argue the science, you can't argue the economic data, right? Finding a ride or die, like you live longer, you have more net worth, all those things, but people try to hack that and use a relationship as a supplement to make me the best version of myself, right? Instead of I'm going to give up myself, you give up yourself, and we're going to create this new thing. And I'm going to wake up every day of my life with one goal. I'm going to serve you. And you wake up every day, I'm going to serve you. And we are going to create a secret world. That's like intimacy, right? We're going to create a world that nobody can get in. And it's us two versus the world. And the current dating ethos, the current dating apps, the current dating doesn't allow for that. The current dating ethos is what's going to make you the best version of you. And just turn somebody into a creatine supplement, and it doesn't work.
How has that like self-care culture hurt or helped how we show up in relationships?
I think self-care has become an end to itself, right? Like people ask me, like I spent years exercising so that I could get abs because I thought that's what my wife wanted. I thought that's what I needed to be lovable, right? Now I exercise so that when my 9-year-old daughter, when she says, "Hey, Dad, I challenge you to a yard fight," I can go out in the front yard and roll around and we'll be silly and laugh and I'll be able to walk the next day, right? Or one day I'll be able to wrestle with my grandkids. Like, so if self-care is about you maximizing you, the center can't hold. We're not designed to be the center of our universe, right? We're designed to be a part of a bigger thing. If self-care, if I do these things so that I can become part of a community, so that I can be the husband that can show up for my wife, for my kids, for my job, for my whatever, then it's amazing. But self-care has turned into an entity in and of itself, right? You want to have perfect skin so you'll be attractive, so you'll be lovable. Not, I want to take care of myself so that I don't end up in a cancer ward, so that I don't end up XYZ.
Yeah, you mentioned this idea of like thinking that relationships are to serve us, and I kind of grew up thinking that. I thought it was like I was trying to find someone that would make me the happiest version of me.
Right.
And then there's this complete opposite side of dying to yourself and serving the other person. How does that shift like happen in someone? And what does it do to a relationship when you actually do that?
It's just counterintuitive, right?
Yeah,
It's like
doesn't make
it's
sense.
the idea of Michael Easter. If you haven't had him on, he wrote The Comfort Crisis.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's top 10 read of anybody. And he's a great friend, but he has a brilliant way of taking complicated things and making them simple. He's the first guy that introduced me to this idea that the human body is designed to hang on to calories. Because for most of human existence, it's been scarcity, right? Apples only fell from that tree once a year. And the resistance we feel to go to a gym and run on a treadmill is not just because you're weak and you're soft. It's your body saying, what are you doing? We're not just going to go run for fun. Like, we got to hang on to this because there may be a tiger that comes. There may be food we got to go get. And so you go anyway. It sounds counterintuitive. I'm going to go hurt myself this morning so I can have a better day. I think relationships on the front end, it feels insane to say, we're going to have one checking account. I'm going to put all the money I earn from work, all the money you earn from work, all the retirement accounts my boss gives me and your boss gives you, it's ours because we're going to create a future. That sounds innately terrifying and scary because that other person could take it and go, right? And on the other side, what most won't ever experience is what it's like to fully surrender, like to fully anchor into concrete with one other person and say, it's us versus the world. And then you have this freedom for all. It's extraordinary, but it's one of those things you can't experience it to the other side.
Yeah. How does it change like your decision making on a daily basis and how you show up to a relationship when you're in that mindset?
It takes you out of staring at your belly button all day and you look up and see this greater world and community and love and joy. And it's extraordinary and it's scary and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And when my wife had an emergency appendectomy the other day, she came in, and my wife's a tough old West Texas girl. She's like, I got to go to the ER now. Like, and for her to say that, I was like, oh, this is it. Right. We went, there was nothing pleasurable about that. And you're holding the hand of somebody that you love, waiting for the radiology report so she can get into emergency surgery, right? And on its face, it's expensive. It's all these quote unquote costs, but the depth of that is so powerful. I'm giving myself to somebody else in this moment. I'm with her in her toughest pain, and that makes the sense of joy so much deeper. Yeah. Again, I'm sounding all mystical and woo woo, like we should start taking like snorting green powders off the table or whatever. Like, I get it. Here's the best way I could say it. I was with a buddy the other day. He's a way more famous guy than me, and he just showed me a text. And his friend, he's late 30s, finally got married, and his wife was asleep holding their brand new baby, and the baby was asleep. And the caption, the text just said, "This is the real Rolex." And that was like, oh man, all this other stuff that we chase is nonsense, but you can't know that until you're on the other side of it. Yeah. Or here's the best explanation. I got a buddy, and this is going to hurt people's feelings. He's a 30-year friend. There was only 3 buddies that I ran with hard, and one was named Todd. I'm John, and this guy was John. So Todd named me Hyper John and him Fat John. So Fat John is the first one to have a kid, and he's one of my closest buddies. Take a bullet for you, buddy. He has this amazing daughter. We hung out every Monday night for years. He has this amazing daughter. He quits hanging out. And dude, I went straight. His wife's a great friend, but I was like, man, his wife's the worst. Like, he won't even let him leave the house anymore. And it wasn't until a few years later when I had my first kid that I was like, oh, he doesn't want to come out. He wants to sit on the couch and hold this extension of himself. And I asked him, I was like, why didn't you tell me? And he laughed and he goes, because you wouldn't have got it. And so it's one of those things you can't know until you're on the other side of it. You just have to look at mentors and people you respect and say, not what are you talking about, but how do you live your life? And if you look across like the wealthiest of these, they all go get married. Yeah. Those who laugh the most and have the drop shoulders the most, they've got great relationships with their kids. And so you have to look at what is the lived actions. I want to go do that.
How has having kids changed you?
It changes everything. Yeah, it changes everything, both for good, both for bad. It costs you your money. It costs you your sex life. It costs you like
Yeah.
time. It costs you sleep. It's one of those things, again, and there's a well of joy that you can't wrap your head around. And there's a chamber in your heart that just opens. You didn't know it was there. And it's profound. It's profound.
I feel like the thing I've been realizing about relationships is it's just a different type of fulfillment, happiness. Like it's like a long lasting feeling of fulfillment versus a quick hit of stimulation. Kind of the difference between the two lives. Like committing and dying to yourself and really being there for someone is this lasting feeling of somewhat joy, you know? And then, but if you go the other route where it's all about you trying to please yourself, it's constant little hits of stimulation, but also a lot more lows.
Yeah. It's you become a drug addict.
Yeah, it's true.
For the next feel good moment. And our whole ecosystem is set up for, if you don't have a feel good moment, that means this is over. That means this is broken. Something's wrong. Instead of a depth, a well that's like, man, I'm loved here. I'm safe here. That's what faith gives me. That's what my wife gives me. That's what my kids get. Like, I'm okay here, right? And I think most of us don't understand even what peace feels like at that level. It's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around it. And you can throw studies at people. You can throw. It doesn't matter. It's most people have never felt securely attached to anything, and we were raised by single parents or exhausted parents or fried parents or parents who were raised by parents in the Great War. Like we're just a generation after generation of electricity, and most of us don't know what it feels like to exhale when you walk in your front door.
So if someone's listening and they're like, I want to show up and be more selfless, but I've been showing up kind of making it all about me. Yeah. What is like the thought process they need to adopt?
I think I'm wrestling with this right now, so you're going to get my live hypothesis that I'm wrestling with. I think we have and again, it's fun to blame social media for everything, but I think that's been the way over the last decade plus. We've had to prove ourselves, which team we're on, did we say the right thing? And man, I'm just through with it. Like, I want to know how you're living your life. Like, what's your next right action? And so if you're dating somebody, ask the question, like, how can I love you today? If you're married, how can I love you today? What's the thing I can do to make your day better? And it sounds cheesy. I think service is something you practice. I'm going to go do a thing today that makes somebody else's day better at a cost to me. And you're going to find yourself in a much richer way. But it's a skill set. And I think we make it a moral issue or a character issue. It's just a practice. And so I'm going to wake up every day and say, how can I love you? To my wife. And she's going to say, how can I love you today? And it goes on like that.
Yeah. And the crazy part about that is that you end up actually getting more of what you hoped for back. Yeah, most of the time. Not always.
It's the leader who, we've all had this boss who you'll do something great and they'll be like, all right. And they go tell their boss, look what I did. They'll take credit. And not realizing that if the leaders that we've worked for that spend all of their energy showing how great their team is, it makes them look better, right? And you don't do these things for an ROI. You do these things for a rich life. But it works itself out in a pretty remarkable way.
You talk to a ton of people constantly calling into your show, like talking about their relationships, how they're going one way or another. How do you determine when someone should like stay and fight for something versus when they should go? It's a tough question. Yeah. It's like the $1 million question. But
so I reject with every fiber of my being the phrase, this relationship just ran its course. That's a dumb saying. It's not real. What's real is one or both of you stopped. One or both of you quit. And so when someone says, should I keep going? My first question is, are you going to keep fighting for it? If you're done fighting, then be done. Or behavior is a language. Is your partner, are they telling you with their words? Are they telling you with their actions? They've quit. And I get so many calls, man, like, hey, what's the best way to get my partner to do X, Y, or Z? And I always tell them, you can't. Are they done? And one of the most heartbreaking things is when I have to tell somebody, hey, he's already left you. He just hasn't moved out yet. Oof. She left you. She just hasn't filed the papers yet. She's done. And so if you're done working, or if you know they're done working, that's when it is. I've seen couples go not on the brink. I've seen them go over the edge and come back. And so if you're willing to put the work in, I think almost anything is redeemable.
Yeah. Something I'm fascinated with is just the idea of communication in relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really hard to have the conversations that need to be had, but they're kind of like everything for a relationship, like really talking about what's going on inside of you, like things you're struggling with. Do you see that people are able to do that, or is that like a skill you got to learn how to, and what kind of like dynamic in a relationship allows you to do that safely?
I think we talk at people from a sense of, I got to protect myself, so I'm going to fight you. Or I talk to you in ways that I want to be talked to. And so Jefferson's a close friend. We've been for a long time. We've talked about this at length, just privately. I think that in a romantic relationship, it's my job to learn your language and speak in a language where you can hear me, instead of talking at you and requiring you to know my language. That's why I get frustrated by the love languages. They're helpful. But what I'm doing when I say this is my love language is I'm forcing my well-being on you. And that's not your job, right? And so what I would love for you to know is, oh, this is a way I can have this conversation. That's the first one, is I'm going to work really hard to speak your language. The second one is I've got to do the work on my end that when you say something, I don't immediately go to war.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest one.
That is.
Something simple, right? Like, hey, we're supposed to leave in 5 minutes. My wife doesn't know. She does now, but she didn't. That's a war I've been fighting with my parents, with boss. That's a 20-year war she walked into. And I'm like, oh, you're on that side too? And now it's on, right?
Defensive.
Which she learns, I'm not bringing that up, which means she walks into every place we go, church, dinner dates, wherever, late. And she grew up, keep your head down. West Texas, don't be exposed, don't get seen, don't be the tallest, grain of wheat. So she's exposed all the time, and we just gently do this. And if she had said, hey, like this, I don't feel safe. Oh, dude, I'm in on that, which is different than, that's a language I can understand. I'll do anything to help you feel safe, versus you're never on time, right? And now we're at war. And so it's me realizing critique from her is iron sharpens iron. It's a gift. It's not a declaration of war, because we're on the same team and we're never going to unhinge that. And I got to learn to say things in a language she can hear. And I think, man, if I'm spending my time doing that, the communication stuff honestly goes away. Most of the drama goes away.
So if someone wants to like present something like that to their partner, where they're like, I don't love this about how we're, living together or doing this relationship, how can you present it in a way that's received better?
The easiest entry step is use I statements and never you statements. Not
instead of you're always late.
You've gained a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It is, I'm struggling being attracted to you right now.
Uh-huh.
And one of those, they're both the same message and both are hard, but one is me saying I'm struggling, not I'm taking my struggle and making it your fault. And both of them may react. I mean, there may be the same reaction, but one is an invitation and one is an accusation. That's just a different approach.
So like in your case where she was upset or feeling weird that you were showing up late everywhere.
Yeah,
instead of
she can say this, you're always late.
Yeah.
The other is, every time we go out together, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I walk in the door and I feel like everyone's looking at me.
Huh.
I'm never going to be late again.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you could do something to help her.
Yes. And this is something I got to fix. And that's something I can correct. Versus, you're always late. You never. And I would always be careful of always and never statements.
Yeah.
Because they're almost never true. They're almost never true.
I've been fascinated with that in couples therapy, where it feels like the therapist is always just trying to get you to say I statements. That's literally all they're doing. They're like, how did that make you feel versus what did that person do? Yeah. It's just so powerful.
Well, it's that shift. I do this again. I've got to own this from my own mental health community. We ask the word need all the time. What are your needs? What are your needs?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, we need water, food, and air. The scarier, more vulnerable question is, what do you want? Like, I need you to show up on. I want you to be here without your phone in your hand when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vulnerable question because I can go, no. But when I tell you I need something, I'm taking all of my cinder blocks and making you carry them. And that's a job. It's not an invitation.
That's interesting.
So it's a scarier thing to say, I want you. Guys are always asking, how do I get my wife to want to sleep with me, right? How do I get her to, I want her to want to be with me. I want to get off the chore list. And I always tell them, like, if you go to your partner and say, I need this. Okay, the kids need diapers. We need to get the bills paid. We need. You're going to go on a list. Be super courageous and lean over and tell your wife, I want you. Do you want me?
Yeah, it's vulnerable.
Bro, I've said that in big marriage retreats, and you could see every head being like, yeah, dude, you say that. I mean, I was almost had to take a break. Like, y'all need to run back to the hotel, like take a break in this room, right? But it's like that level of, I want you. But it's just easier to throw needs at people.
Why is it so hard to be like vulnerable like that in a relationship?
Because I think every single person is scared that the other person's going to leave.
Yeah.
That at some level, we're going to be found out that we're not lovable. And so I'm going to hedge and be careful and keep my mouth shut and take all my feelings and needs and wants and shove them down. Because I'm afraid at the end of the day, if you truly know me, you're going to leave. That's a scary proposition.
Yeah. Could it also just be a feeling of weakness in general, of just having to ask for something from someone else in that way? Like, not,
I mean, Hollywood's told us that if they can't read your mind, then it's not real.
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
That's marriage therapy 101 when you have your first kid. Like, hey, if y'all want to keep having sex, it just has to go on the calendar now. And everyone's like, what? It's like, yeah, Hollywood lied to you. You're not just going to, there's like diapers everywhere. There's throw up on stuff. You'll have 14 minutes. Like, that's what you got, and put it on the calendar. And it feels so
spontaneous.
Brad Pitt, yeah. And if it's not spontaneous, it's not real. It's for sure real. You just got to be intentional about it. And then you find out, man, intentionality is way richer than happenstance, right? That the stars align.
We interrupt this program to ask you to subscribe. Please just hit that little red button below this video. I'm going to wait. Are you tapping it? Thank you. It means the world to us, and it really allows us to keep this show going and providing valuable content for you. I hope you enjoy this show. How else has Hollywood tainted our view of what relationships really are?
Man, I think it really it just puts all the emphasis on feeling. I think it discounts loyalty, it discounts showing up, it discounts safety, and it's about feeling. And feelings come and go, man. Feelings don't tell you the truth all the time. Feelings are data, but they're not the final word.
So it's just super common for every relationship to go through highs and lows, ruts, and
I mean, there's long seasons where I love you. I don't like you right now.
Yeah.
And like, I love you and I'm not very likable right now. Yeah. I mean, that's the ebb and flow. And that's where it's like, oh, if you don't like each other, if you don't walk in and just want to rip each other's clothes off, this is over now. You need to find somebody else. And that is always where that person at work is like, man, that report you gave the other day was awesome. I got that joke. That was funny. And that feels good. Oh, this must be the next thing. And you're off. You're just chasing feelings. You're on that. Yeah, you're just, you're trying to get high, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I worry a bit about that dialogue on social media. It feels like there's a lot of like, if you're feeling this, just go do it.
Stupid.
Like, just leave it.
Dude, feeling is a data point to enter into. I feel scared is not a signal to avoid. If I feel scared is a signal to head into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I feel uncomfortable. Dude, that's an invitation to go do a deep dive. Why am I uncomfortable right now? I'm in an air-conditioned house. I've got a job. I got maybe some health insurance. Not great, but I got some, right? Why am I uncomfortable? It's not a thing to run from.
Yeah, you talked about that. I love that in your book, Building a Non-Anxious Life, right here. You talk about how anxiety is, what do you call it? It's like an alarm.
It's a fire alarm.
Yeah. Can you expand on that? I think it's a great visual.
I was taught that if you had this thing that they called anxiety, that something was malfunctioning, you were broken, and you needed to be fixed. And so there's all these things, pharmacological ways, there is talk therapy way, all these ways to fix your brokenness. And as I went further and further down the rabbit hole, it's like, no, if you're anxious about something, that usually means your body's working perfectly. It's trying to get your attention and say, hey, your body's identified a place where I don't think you're safe. I don't think this is healthy for us. And in that way, Wendy Suzuki, she's a researcher at NYU. She says anxiety is a friend. It's an annoying, loud, needs to shut up friend, but it's trying to help you out. And so instead of, the analogy I use in the book is it's a smoke detector. And if you run up there and the smoke detector's going off and your house is filling with smoke and you just take the batteries out of the smoke detector, it's cool. You can turn the alarm off. You can stop feeling anxious in any number of ways. But your house is going to burn down. The path towards dealing with anxiety is getting to the root of, why does my body feel unsafe here? And that's it's harder just to sell a solution, right? A 4-step plan. It's harder to do that because you're talking about having to change some things in your life.
That's what I love about the way you approach this book, is showing that it's like an all-encompassing thing. It's like you don't know which alarm's actually going off. It's just that feeling of anxiety. You need to dig to figure out which area of your life is actually causing that. And back to the relationship thing, I think it's the easiest one to pin it on because it's the thing that you could change the fastest. And I feel like we maybe get that wrong, thinking that it's really that, but it could be the job you're in or the lack of connection that you're in, or that you have in your life. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, with what you're talking about, like, it's easy to say, you're making me anxious, instead of asking the harder question, which is, why is my body sounding alarms every time I'm with you? Is it the things you say to me? Oh God, that reminds me of stuff that one kid in my 4th grade class used, and my body put a GPS pin in that and said, that's not safe. Is it the fact that I've got some boundaries and you want to blow by them every time? Is it I'm fearful economically and you just throw money around and throw everything, and like, actually ask yourself, why is my body identifying you as not safe? And that can lead to some tough conversations. That can lead to, oh, you're not the problem at all. Like, my body's responding to stuff. I need to go sit with a therapist for a while. I need to go talk through some of this stuff, work through some of this stuff, because I'm safe now. I wasn't, but I am now. And my body's just trying to keep me safe.
One of my favorite topics that you talk about in here is just connection in general. And I'm a big fan of the power of just community and real friendships, even outside of your relationship or your family, how important that is. How do you think that having a friend or a couple friends that you can really have real conversations with, like, how does that impact your life? Because if you can't have that, you kind of bottle it up.
Yeah, I think I like to go, maybe 5 floors below that. If your body knows, I think we did an internal study. We did like a white space study. It's not fully generalizable, but about 8 out of 10 had nobody to call, or maybe one person to call in the middle of the night if they needed something. 7 out of 10, including their spouses, did not truly know what they were wrestling with. That their faith was falling out, that they were worried about their health, that they can't talk to their parents. They were just holding stuff in. Your body would be failing you if it let you sleep all night, because it knows you are all you've got. Your body would be failing you if it wasn't completely on high alert all the time, because you're all you have. And so when we move up the ladder, we try to solve sleep issues. We try to solve anxiousness issues. We try to solve all these things playing whack-a-mole with symptomology, instead of saying, no, your body's working perfectly. You're all you got. And we're not designed to live like that. So I think, if I could snap my fingers and just wave a wand and fix something, I would fix sleep and I'd fix relationships. If you sleep all night and you've got a ride or die group of friends that will show up. And by the way, I always like to caveat this. The executor of my will, Todd, I just talked about it earlier. He's a banker. I work for Dave Ramsey. That means we go to work every day trying to make the other guy lose, right? He's trying to get people to borrow money, and I'm trying to get people to not borrow money, right? And he's executor of my will. He's my one of the closest friends I got. And I have no doubt that if I make a phone call, he'll be here on the very first flight out. He'll just stop what he's doing, and vice versa, right? When you have that, or local friends, when you have that, your body can then exhale and then critically think about what comes next. But I think we're playing whack-a-mole. Do you feel this? Do you have a weird itch? Do you have trouble putting your head down on the pillow? Try my solution. And I think the solutions are almost always way deeper than that.
Do you think it's because we've gotten so like individualized? Like it's all
we just created the loneliest generation in human history ever.
What created that?
Us trying to hyper-connect ourselves, right? I mean, I don't have the study to cite, but the nomenclature is like 70 to 90% of communication is nonverbal, right? And now I text my wife 100 times a day, I love you. I don't even see her. I'm like, no, I already did that 100 times, right? I gave her data, but if I'm using that other metric, I gave her 20% of communication, and the other 80 I just left off the table.
Mm-hmm.
She feels safe and loved, not from zeros and ones, from black and white text. She feels safe and loved when I walk in the door on time without my phone. She sees my eye crinkles and we hug, and she can feel my nervous system. Then she feels loved. And we just outsourced it all to this. And Cal Newport talked about something that I have been really wrestling with. I think there's also an underlying hum. We have a humongous width of our economy where people don't do anything. We email back and forth all day.
Mm-hmm.
We do meetings all day. We put opinions on it, but we don't create a thing. We talk about a thing. And I think a lot of people go to work and go home, and there's this nagging sense, I didn't contribute anything today. That doctor that rolled in, bro, when they said, we think this is appendicitis, the doctor's going to come in. Guy rolls in like in jeans and like a Def Leppard t-shirt. He was on call. And he's like, hey, I got stuck on 65. Sorry I was late. Walked in, looked at the stuff, and he goes, yeah, we got to do this right now. I'm going to go scrub up and get changed. I'm going to get this out. I was sitting there, and I was like, dude can just roll off the street and take an organ out of his body. That guy can do something. Watching my granddad, he was an electrical engineer. Watch him fix plugs was like art, man. I was like, how do you know how to do all this stuff? And he's like, well, we had to. We didn't have any money, right? We had to. I think there's a wide band of folks who talk about stuff. But if you're talking about hey, we need to change the font on this particular marketing piece. All right, well, we need to set up a meeting. We need to get stakeholders. We need to have, bro, what are we doing all day, right? And I think there's just this nagging, we have no purpose, we have no sins, we have no aligned, we know deep down, I don't know if I can do this stuff. And then we bring it home and we have that discontent, man. And this just takes it away. It's a drug, right? It takes it away. Eating takes it away. Another drink takes it away. Pornography takes it away. It just is a numbing agent. It's an off-ramp to a life of purposelessness. And then a disconnected spouse. So you're just sitting by each other scrolling your lives away. And it's reclaiming what's way beneath that, man.
So the sense of accomplishment, you think, is kind of
it's
lost.
less accomplishment, it's purpose.
Huh.
Like it's the old trope. The journey is more important than where you're gonna the finish line's never gonna be a thing. But man, what are we doing? What are you waking up for every day? To go sit in a meeting, or to send emails around, or to create something so that somebody else's day is a little bit better. It's just it's a deeper call, and I think we've just created a very thin culture, man. An exhausted, fried, thin culture, and people are real lonely.
Yeah, the loneliness thing is tough, and I think
what makes it tough?
It's just I just feel sad that people feel that way. Because I've been lucky enough to find a very large group of friends. It's actually my Bible study. It's 100 dudes, and it's I obviously have a good relationship with 10 of them, really deep. But that just has provided me more life than I ever thought I could imagine.
Okay, can I challenge something?
Yeah.
You call it lucky. What was the first day you showed up to that group?
Yeah. Awkward and feeling
How so?
outcast. I just felt like I wasn't in the group. Like
Okay.
everyone else was tight and I wasn't in it.
And then what about the next time?
Got a little more in.
And then what made these 10 dudes like okay to go down a well with them? Or go into the coal mine with them?
We just started showing up for each other when we needed
What's that
each
mean?
other. When anyone was going through a hard time, or like one of my best buddies, I was going to propose to my wife, and he came out and filmed it and took pictures. You know, he's an amazing videographer and photographer, but he just did it on a whim. We were just there when we needed each other, and we talked about real stuff, I think was the biggest thing.
And so what I would say is less than you were lucky is you're bold and you took risks. You're a public figure. They could have taken some of the things you said and right? And they didn't, and you trusted. And so I like the idea now when I'm trying to solve, like, how do we deal with this loneliness issue? I like to reduce it to a skill set and an act of courage, not you get lucky, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's something about, like, you got to choose to find a group, whether it's a Bible study group, it's a knitting group. My wife's a part of a book club with these other university professors. She used to be a university professor. Now she stays at home most of the time. For her to walk in that door was like, man, I used to be one of them and I'm not anymore, right? It's an act of courage, and now they got a gang, right? And so it's showing up. And then when your buddy calls and says, hey, you have a skill that would really be awesome for me, I'll be there, right? Fat John is awesome with wiring. I'll be there. My buddy Todd, like, hey, I have a really deep financial question. I need you to help me wrap my head around. I'll be there. They call me, hey, my marriage, can you help? I got it. So it's, will you show up? It's a skill to practice, and you have to go first and be awkward, man. But I think it's a very solvable challenge if people will recognize what a big deal it is, and if they'll have the courage to go say, I'm going to stop living my life this anxious, chaotic mess.
Let's pretend that you are sitting in a place where you don't have any friends and you're trying to create these deep relationships. Like, what would you do if you wanted to just start?
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I moved to Nashville to work at a university. I worked there for 2 years and then got this other crazy job, as my son calls me, just a dumb YouTuber now. So I took that job, right? And it blew up underneath me, and I'm an introvert. And so suddenly I'm everywhere I go, every restaurant, everything.
Yeah.
And the sense is people only say hi because they want something.
Yeah.
So I shell up even more. And I felt it this last year. Like my wife's one who called it out. She's like, I love you. I'm sensing old patterns where you're turtling up. And so literally I walked down the street to Zany's, the comedy club, and I signed up for a night. Like I'm a public speaker to do for a living, but bro, it's different.
Yeah.
When people just like dance,
Make me laugh. Yeah.
like different thing. But here's what I knew. I knew that's a culture. That's a very tight-knit community.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it has been the most life-giving. When you bomb, and bro, I bombed.
Yeah.
They're dying laughing in the back, but they're also like, hey, you had a good joke. You missed it. You could have. It's
That's
just
fun.
awesome. And then suddenly it's like, hey, I'm having a baby and we're struggling, or can I help you with this? Is there any chance? And so, but it took me, a guy that looks like I got it all. I got all the education, all the figuring out. I'm on stages all over the country. I'm gonna go sit in front of 100 people and see if I got it. And I'm gonna work on a craft that I don't know how to do. And so I guess for men, I would tell you, and I hate to overly gender this, but I think men, the shoulder to shoulder, kneecap to kneecap thing is real. Find a thing you can do alongside other people, and that you've got to submit yourself to. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to go up there and just like let it rip. And is this funny? I don't know. Go find out, right? I didn't know how to do it. And so watching these people getting feedback, and then suddenly you have a shared experience. And you walk off and everyone's cheering for you. You know you nailed it, man.
Yeah.
And you walk off and they're laughing at you. You know, I wasn't good, right? You know. But it's a shared common. The coolest thing someone's called me lately is I walked over to Zany's to see somebody else, and I was standing in line, and the woman walked by and goes, "Oh no, you're a comic. You can just go in." And when she said that, I was like, you know what I mean? It was like, it's insane. I got a great wife. I got great kids. I got PhDs. It's all. When she said that, I was like, oh, I'm in the club, right? But it wasn't just you're in the club. It's Monday nights and Tuesday nights, and my wife calls it my new drug, right? But it's cheers for me.
Yeah.
But it took walking into a strange place and saying, I'm going to submit myself to this. I want to learn how to do this. Will y'all be my friends too? And it's been awesome.
That's awesome. So you'd base it on like a common interest, like find people.
Find a thing that you would go learn to dance, go learn to weld, go learn to hunt. I take people out hunting I've never done. I want to go. Cool. Come with me. And you end up having a wild experience. You may see nothing, but it's a hilarious, you're freezing to go do a thing that's hard that you don't really know how to do. Do it with other people.
Interesting.
And so that's going to be a total bust.
Is that different than if you say we're just fans of the same team? Like, how is that different when you're doing something difficult versus like a common interest is like we both like the Packers or something? Do you think it's like you can fail in front of people?
It's a hack. You're outsourcing all of this shared experience, and it's biological, right? It's neurological, right? Like my old man played in a softball league. It was not pretty. It was the tight shorts, real short. Like it was not cute, man. But they got out there and got after it. And just one generation later, now more than ever, my generation, I pay the Houston Astros jillions of dollars. Those guys make millions to go do it for me. And so my hack is we're all wearing somebody else's name on our shirts, which for all human history would have got you killed, right? We're going to wear that guy's name. He's going to represent our activity, our hard work, weight room stuff. He's going to go to do that for us so that we can say we're on the same team. Nah, man, put on your shorts and tuck your shirt, even though you probably shouldn't tuck your shirt in, and go out there and fall down, man. And back in West Texas, in Lubbock, when I was working at Texas Tech, a group of us joined a softball league. Bro, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. But, dude, after the game, sharing a beer and chips and queso, we laugh. We still laugh at some of the stupid stuff that happened. That's years ago. And so it is stop outsourcing your life, too. Don't outsource your opinions. How am I supposed to say this? Am I supposed to be mad about what just happened? Don't outsource your love life to pornography. Like, go risk it. Don't outsource your movement to professional athletes. Go live your life, man, and get some sort of purpose there.
You do a lot of things where...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's great. That's great. I love it. And
Jefferson always says, don't ask if that makes sense. But, like, it's funny because I feel crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like, I don't know, it's like Neo getting unplugged from the Matrix, and he sits up and he's like, oh, this isn't real, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You clearly like to scare yourself. Like, go do things that you could potentially fail at.
Yeah,
what does that
I'm
do?
an addict.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of
I'm an adrenaline addict.
I'm kind of the same. I mean, a lot of things you do, you could potentially, quote unquote, fail. Like, you're going on a stage tour. Yeah. I heard next week, you're going to be in front of live panel, and then you're doing this comedy stuff. Like, what does just having the potential to fail do for how you feel about life? Like, does it give you more excitement towards things?
It does a couple things. I'm pretty scattered. I'm a scattered guy. So having a deadline, it is a focus, right? It lasers you in. Like, I got to put time in on this thing. I also know that I have a deep-rooted tendency towards laziness, and so I have to do the prep work. If you roll up in front of 2,000 people in a room, or I did my own headline, my own thing. There's 300 people in that room. We sold it out. It was awesome. But bro, you're walking in. They paid money they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Times are tough right now. They paid money they don't have for you to give them an escape for 2 hours. Go, right? And it's dishonoring to not put that time in. So it forces that. But there's also a sense of I love feeling alive, and it's not about constantly raising the bar. It's about finding a thing that I'm going to go, I don't know if I can do that. All right, let's go see if we can do that, right? It's why I walked into an MMA gym years ago. It's why I started getting tattooed. Like, I just want to know what that would be like. And that's how I started all this. I was going to all these rad cities, and I would just stay in the hotel and read books like a dork. And I was like, I'm going to be really sad when this all goes away, and I've done nothing. And so I just made a rule. Every city I was traveling to, I would book a tattoo. And I'd go hang out with these tattoo artists, and that was a whole other club. And I learned there's some artists are like haircut. There's some good ones, and there's some tough ones, man. But the whole thing was an experience, man.
Yeah.
And But it was like, I'm going to put myself in these situations that I've never been in before and see what happens, and enjoy being with people. And I don't know. It's just, how can I extract the most beauty and aliveness out of what's a pretty tough existence, man?
Yeah.
It's a messy world out there.
Yeah. What would you say to someone if they feel like they're like kind of sitting on the sidelines?
Pick a thing
spectating?
and jump in the ring.
Just go in.
Pick a thing.
Don't overthink it.
Yes. And I think we abuse that never, ever, ever, ever give up line, right? We abuse it.
What do you mean?
That quote was existential. Our survival's at stake. We're going to fight till the end.
Mm-hmm.
And we take that, and it's become like this social media mantra. If you quit, never quit. Bro, if you try stand-up comedy and you're not funny,
yeah.
and you hate your life, stop.
Yeah.
Go do something else. This isn't existential, right? The thing is that you went and did it.
Yeah.
If you're dating somebody, you have a good time, this is not going to be your person. Stop. Call it, right? Or if you're with somebody, let's get dark. Somebody's abusive. Stop. If you're at a job where they dishonor you, where they're abusing your time, your research, stop, right? And so go try stuff and see what lights you up, man. And if you live a great life, different things will light you up over time.
And you'll find them. Like, what does that do for your anxiety to go do things? Like, to, instead of just thinking about them, actually doing them.
This is awesome. I'll tell you this. I don't share this. I'm going to tell you. This happened recently. I did an event in Colorado. It was in Denver. It was this big leadership conference. There's 2,500 people there. On the bill is Nate Bargatze was there, Dave Ramsey was there, John Maxwell, Pat Linson, like Jim Collins, the big dogs.
Yeah.
I closed it out. I didn't do great. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't bring what I had hoped to bring. I had this big theatrical thing and it just kind of fell flat for me. And I was really bummed. On the flight home, I just started gnawing at myself. Like, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. You should quit. Like the demons started circling, right? Just the self-doubt. Right when I landed, it's too late to be texting anybody. I landed, I texted the woman who books sets over at Zany's. And I said, I got to get back on Comedy Club stage ASAP. Next available. And she goes, I got 10-minute slot tomorrow night for Nashville All-Stars. And you got to know, like in Nashville, like John Chris rolls up, Theo Vaughn rolls up, like crazy comedians who people page, they roll up and do 15 minutes, try out 2 new jokes, and then they leave, right? So those nights always sell out because nobody knows who's going to show up.
Cool.
And I was like, I'm in. To say I bombed would be the understatement of the century. I walked out there all confident, like, bro, what's up? Bro, it was so bad. It was so bad. And this comic named Tina Farrell, she's from New York. She's hilarious. She caught me. She's a professional comic. That's what she does. And she walked back and she looked at me and put her hands on my shoulders and she goes, now you're one of us. And bro, I drove home and I laughed the whole way because I was free. I was like, oh, that's what happens? I've heard about that.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that. Bro, I'm talking nothing. When I say nothing, it was reverse nothing. It wasn't just people were looking at me. The air got sucked out of that room. They were like, you shouldn't ever do. Like it was, but I was like, dude, my wife still likes me. I'm going to a house with Eric. You survived. And anxiousness is this imaginary story of the future that you're trying to solve in the present, and your body responds as though it's happening in real time. I lived it. Oh, that's what happens when you bomb. You still get in the same car and drive home. That night I sold it out. Could not have gone better. I got in my truck and I drove home. It's the same thing, but I was free from it. And so when I spent years in the MMA gym, learning jiu-jitsu and learning kickboxing and all that, I learned I'm not going to fight on the street, that's for sure, because it's stupid. And I learned I can take care of myself. I can get out of a situation and get home to my family, right? I can keep my family safe. That's what I need to know. And I can go stand up on stage and handle myself. If I ever have to do a presentation, lead my buddy's funeral, whatever, I can go do that. And so anxiety is built on, solving for anxiety is built on, I can have that hard conversation with my wife. We've done it before, we can do it again. I can tell my boss, I'm not doing that because I don't owe anybody any money. I've worked really hard. I got a savings account that's my bank. Boss, I'm not coming in on the weekend anymore. Oh, you gonna fire me? Okay, have a good one, because I don't need it. Right? I've worked this long for this moment, and so it's just taking the action, doing the work, so that when your body needs to sound the alarm, just like, oh, we're good. We've already been down this road. We're all right. It's freedom, man. It's freedom.
To kind of live out the potential worst case scenario instead of just thinking about it. Is that the?
It's practicing life.
Huh.
And dude, it's so
Living
fun,
it.
man. Yeah, it's so fun. And by the way, it's often not fun at all. It's miserable, right? It can be terrible. And it is what it is. But it's just not outsourcing your life to other things, other people, other attributes, other voices that tell you whether you're lovable or you're worthy. I'm not doing that anymore. Life's too short, man. It's too short.
That's beautiful. We're going to pause this conversation quick. I got a question for you. Do you love having real conversations and really connecting with the people around you? I personally hate small talk. And so we made a game called No More Small Talk that gets straight to the good stuff. It's based around my love for wisdom as well as great questions and connection. It's kind of like a book club. Every card starts with a quote, something wise that gets you thinking, and then it's followed up with a thought-provoking question. So many of you have already said that you've been loving this game, and it means the world to me. You guys can check it out on Amazon. It's called No More Small Talk if you want to get it there. It'll also be linked in the show notes. I hope you enjoy the rest of this conversation. I guess I want you to leave us with just some words of wisdom. If someone's, we've talked about it a lot, but if someone's just been sitting in their room and they have been thinking about doing something, they maybe play video games all day, they worry about, why isn't their life working? All these thoughts. What's the message you would leave them with?
Get out and go.
Yeah.
Pick a thing and go.
Just pick something.
The beautiful thing about all these digital devices, whether they're social media, of which I've got a big presence on now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's video games, all of those things, TV, Netflix shows, whatever, they all have off switches on them. Turn off. And even if you want to just turn it off and feel that discontent, that need to go grab it again, feel that for a second. And then pick a thing, man. Pick a thing. Pick a person to call. And if you don't have anybody to call, hear that as a 5-alarm emergency.
Yeah.
That's number one. Find a group that you can call yours and that they can call you one of them. And it doesn't have to be otherwise, here's the thing. The algorithms will give you a group. They'll give you a group. And you'll become somebody that you never thought you would. You'll believe in things. You'll think in ways. The air you will breathe will become what somebody else is telling you. This is how we're going to respond to this. This is who we hate. This is why we're angry. If you turn the knobs off and you go meet with real people, man, it has a way of all that nonsense falls away. Like I say, my best friend in the world, we go to work trying to end each other's jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the executor of my will. And I love him like a brother. It takes all the air out of all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Right?
Just go live.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Thanks for this conversation. I want to ask you one last question that I ask everyone. Do you have a favorite quote by chance?
Man. For a vast majority of my childhood, me and my buddies spoke exclusively in like Tommy Boy and Dumb and Dumber quotes. And so
Yes.
I don't think that's helpful here.
I'd love one.
I think the funniest scene in cinematic history was in the movie Billy Madison when he's giving this nonsensical speech and that announcer just looks at him and says, "Everyone in this room is now dumber for what you've..." I remember laughing so hard I thought I was going to vomit.
I know exactly.
I was like, I'm going to throw up. I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe.
Everyone in this room is now dumber because of what you
because of what you said. May God have mercy on your soul. I just remember that. I don't know. Man, I laughed so hard. I think I'll tell you my favorite quote. Whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. Author is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You can run your mouth about how great you are, how religious you are, how good you are. What you're doing for the least of these in your community, in your area, in your home, in your family.
And what does least of these mean?
Pick it.
Yeah.
Pick it. It can be the guy on the street corner asking for money that you can say, hey, come over. It can be Room at the Inn, this awesome program we have here in Nashville where in the winter, churches have stored mattresses and they let homeless folks come spend the night inside and they give them meals and everybody hangs out. It could be that.
Yep.
The least of these could be the guy at the office who's about to get fired. You know it. He knows it. And you can go take him to lunch and say, how we doing? It can be your wife after a surgery and she's not doing well. It could be your son who just got dumped. Like the least of these it's a broad picture. But it's someone it goes all the way full circle, our conversation. It's someone I can open my eyes in the morning and say, how can I go serve that person?
That's beautiful. Thanks again, man, for coming on.
Dude, thanks for the hospitality, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
This is the newest book, Non-Anxious Life, Building a Non-Anxious Life. Go check it out. It's John Delony.
Thanks,
man. Thank you so much for tuning into this conversation. We hope you loved it, and we hope you share it with your friends. And we also hope you subscribe. It's free for you to do, and it helps us out so much. These episodes are directed and edited by the one and only Mason Allen. This show would not happen without him. I'm Nicholas John. I hope you have a great day.